Welcome to the Fuller Homestead. We're a family of 4 who left the city life behind to pursue a calling on our hearts to raise and grow what we eat while cultivating a life that is intentional, meaningful, and connected to God. I'm Andrea, a homesteading, homeschooling mama of 2. Come join me as I take you into a glimpse of our daily life here on our 40-acre homestead in North Florida. Hey guys, how you doing? It has been a minute. It's actually been like, I don't know, 6, 7 months, maybe even pushing 8 months. I can't even really tell you what happened. I just kind of fell out of videoing, and then life just kind of picked up and got really crazy. So I don't know, we've just been trucking along, and randomly about a couple weeks ago I hopped on and I just clicked on our channel just to click on it, and I realized that we've got a lot of new subscribers. We have a lot of people who are interested in our content, and I really appreciate that. And I was like, why did we quit? We should just keep going. So hi, welcome back to the Fuller Homestead. I'm busy, and I'm always busy. I'm always doing stuff, and I just figured, like, why not bring everybody along? What a season. So we went through, I don't even really know. I can't really even tell you how much happened. Like, a lot happened. There wasn't like a particular, like, one thing that I was like, oh, I'm not gonna film anymore. I think I just was filming for a while, and then I didn't have time to edit and put together like an actual video, and then homeschooling picked up, and we just got really rolling with that. And then the garden was insane in the summertime. I just think everything just kind of culminated, and then we had a hurricane, and then we had another hurricane. Yeah, and it just all like flew by, and then it was holidays, and here we are. It's February. So the spring garden is like booming. Like, it's go time for spring garden. So I'm planting every day, whether that's planting starts out, actually planting seeds in the garden. So I just figured, what better time than to pick up the camera, show you guys what's going on. And we're just gonna start today by sowing some seeds. So our weather, we had like a fake spring for the last couple weeks, probably 2 weeks or so. It's just been absolutely gorgeous. I'm talking like 80s. We're in North Florida, so literally 80s, high 70s, mid 80s during the day, and then 60s at night. Like, perfect weather. It's been absolutely stunningly beautiful, but also hot, and it's throwing everything into, like, it's triggering all the things to go into like a false sense of spring. And I knew it wasn't going to be over yet, because it never is, but the freezes, at least in the cold weather. But we just weren't really sure when it was going to happen. And then sure enough, last night we dropped into the 30s. We got down to about 35 last night. And then tonight we're going to get down to like 33. And then in a couple days, our weather app has us at 27, which means typically we'll be about 5 to 8 degrees lower than that. So we'll be in the low 20s, maybe even teens. So that's gonna be kind of stinky, but that's okay. So everything's green, like green. Pastures are green. Isn't that crazy? Mid-February and everything's completely green right now. And the reason that is because, well, it takes 2 weeks of amazing weather, and there we go. But everything probably is going to die out again here in a couple days, which is fine. And my seed starts, we don't have the best setup this year. Typically my seed starting tower, which I'm about to show you guys, is, here it is. Typically it's inside. And this year, because we rearranged and it had been in our school room where we do school every day, it had been in there last year, and then I really just needed space. So we created a closet where my seed starting trays are, and we had to bring them out here. So they're on the back porch now, and just hasn't been ideal because the weather's been so yo-yo-y. So my peppers have started growing and they're doing fairly well. Eggplants are doing fairly well. Tomatoes are tanking. And I think they just need like a better, I don't know, two things. There's two things. So I think they need better soil because I ran out of my germinating mix and I literally just threw in some potting soil and it's just not pulling the moisture in. It's kind of like bubbling on the top. It's not old soil, it's brand new, but I just don't think it was great. So I went out last weekend, we got some really great new soil. So I'm gonna pop that in and we're just gonna sow some more tomato seeds. Bottom line, I'm gonna sow more because right now I probably only have like 20 seeds germinating. That's not enough, like no way near enough. And I'm just gonna do it a different way so I'm not taking as much space up with trays. These are 72 cell trays over here and each tray has, 1 to 2 seeds in it if I, accidentally dropped a second seed in, but typically 1 seed in each tray. So instead of that, I'm just gonna take these 4-inch, I think they're 4, they might be 6. These pots right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and take these, I'm gonna fill them up. I would do a smaller pot, but I have like this and a 2-inch, and the 2-inch I'm gonna save for when they sprout a little bit, but I'm just gonna fill this up. I'm gonna put probably like 15 to 20 seeds in each of these. And then I'm gonna put these inside because I have some little like heat mats and then germinating mats, and I also have lights, just little setup. So I'm just gonna toss all of these inside and just try and get some more tomatoes to germinate. I think peppers we're looking really good on. Tomatoes, not great, and we can't do that. We have to have tomatoes. So anyway, you wanna join me? Come on along and we will plant some tomatoes. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and push up a little bit more so you can see, sow some tomato seeds. And these are just gonna go inside. Again, we're using Fox Farm Ocean Forest. I'm gonna go ahead and just do everything in here. So I'm gonna sow the seeds in here and then they'll be able to grow out in the same soil, which is really great. So I'm just gonna fill up these little containers and then we're gonna sow multiple seeds in here, probably about anywhere between 10 to 20 seeds in each little tray. So we have some varieties that we just like absolutely love. I marked things that we love and that's what we want to plant more of. Pink Berkeley tie-dye is one of those things, so we're gonna go ahead and sow some pink Berkeley tie-dye seeds. I have some, but not any. I only have like 2 coming up or germinating, and that's not gonna be nearly enough. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sow a little more in here. We're gonna wait for them all to come up, germinate, and then from there we will take them out and repot them in the little like 2 to 3 inch pots individually for them to grow out and get healthy and strong when we put them out in a couple. I mean, honestly, we're running out of time here. So my last freeze date or frost date is March like 7th, but really it's a mixed review every time I look. So the earliest is March 7th, and then I've seen as late as like March 20th. So somewhere between there, we'll put these guys out in the garden. So for now, I just grabbed a little handful here, and I'm just gonna sprinkle them in and dropped one. Don't want any seeds going to waste, not one. So I'm just gonna kind of pop them down, bury them up a bit. And we'll get these moving inside, which will be nice and cozy for them for the next couple weeks when we don't have any idea what the weather's doing. It's all over the place and guarantee it's gonna freeze a couple more times. So my porch seeds, I'm just pulling them in when it gets really cold at night. I've been pulling them in and sitting them inside overnight and then bringing them back out. And I have a little space heater out there, which is nice. And I'm just keeping the space heater on during the day because honestly, like today it only got up to 58. So it's not super warm for them. So I just put the, type, and then I also just stick the date on the back because I like to know when everything was planted. That way I have a good estimate of when it's gonna germinate. So, or if it's not germinating, I can be like, what in the world's going on here? All right, so we're gonna do those. I'm gonna try and just do what we love the most in these because it's going to be kind of mass quantities. So I'm going to do San Marzanos. That's another one that it's really good paste tomato for any sauces or anything like that. And I grew a lot of them last year and we really loved them. So I'm just going to go ahead and sow this whole packet, which is probably, well, maybe not the whole packet. Not really even counting. Probably about 20 seeds though I'm putting in each one. Yeah, 15 to 20. I'm not gonna do the whole packet because I think there's probably like 40 in here. So, all right. So what's been going on? Let's see. We had a hurricane last August and that hurricane was very stressful. Hurricane Helene. It was very stressful for the animals, specifically Hattie girl. She lost her pregnancy. She was about 3.5 months along at that point, and that was when her pregnancy slipped. So by the time I caught it and really like understood what had happened, we were just busy. And then by the time I had the vet come out and actually palp her and make sure she, you know, did really slip her pregnancy. It was like mid-October. And then we were able to catch her in heat in December and have the AI tech come out. And just a couple weeks ago, actually, just a week ago, was 30 days out from the AI tech coming, maybe a little over 30. But anyway, I did pregnancy test on her. It came out positive, so we're hopeful. Right now we're just milking Hattie once a day, and she is giving us 1.5 gallons, maybe like close to 2 gallons some days, but consistently steady as she goes, 1.5 gallons a day, and she's doing great. She's doing really well. Let's see what else. San Marzanos. We had this is super exciting. 3 weeks ago, we got baby Nubians. We're so excited. So Lemon and Fern both kidded, and they both had triplets, which is so exciting. And I'll go ahead and I think I'm gonna do a little video on the footage that I have of the birth and like the babies and what's been going on with them and raising baby Nubians, because it's been such a blessing and such a pleasure. Oh my gosh, loving on baby goats is one of God's gifts to us, honestly, is baby goat love. It's the sweetest thing ever, and it's just so sweet. So we've been loving that. And what else has been going on? You know, I don't know, we're just staying like really busy. The holidays were great for us. They were a really slow pace, beautiful thing, honestly. I have grown to find out that the fall winter garden is my favorite, hands down my favorite. Although I like what comes out of the spring and summer garden, The winter garden is so relaxing. It's so relaxing here because we don't get intense cold weather. I mean, we went down to the teens a couple times, and we even had snow flurries, which was really cool. But you know, not like we're not a blizzarding by any means. And we have a fairly tropical climate, so it's really just a breath of fresh air, because the spring garden turns into the summer garden. The summer garden is, you know, unbearable, like unbearable. When it gets to July, August, it's unbearable. It's like cancel everything, pull it out of the ground. You know, even just being in the garden makes you want to cry a lot of times. So, yeah, I think that the winter garden has just been so relaxing. We've gotten so many carrots. We found out as a family that we adore rutabagas. We love them so much. So we have eaten our weight in rutabagas, and next year I'm gonna have like a whole bed of rutabaga. Our very favorite rutabaga dish is rutabaga au gratin. Oh my gosh, I need to do a video for y'all about how to make rutabaga au gratin. It's amazing. So we have eaten our weight in rutabagas. These are Amish paste tomatoes I have going in right now. We really liked these last year too. I loved them because I think it's just like a really good sauce tomato. Really good tomato to grow a lot of and be able to put up. So rutabaga au gratin is our favorite. We just finished out a bed of it, and I planted some more, just being hopeful that they'll be able to give us one more crop of rutabagas before it gets super hot. I think it might work out. We'll see. Okay, so Amish paste here. And I'm gonna check my date because I'm pretty sure I put that it was January on this one. No, I didn't. Okay, good. I'm not losing my mind. All right, so far I've got 3 containers: pink Berkeley tie-dye, San Marzano, Amish paste. Let's see what else we're gonna go with here. Maybe just some regular aromas. I do have quite a few specialty tomatoes like coming up anyway, so I don't think I have to do a lot of those. I'm mostly going for like packing a punch and being able to really make sure that we like hit goals as far as canning and things like that. So let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna do Romas too. That's what I'm gonna do. And then I might do like a couple. Yeah, we're gonna do Romas, and then we might do a couple of these little, we loved, what are they called? Purple bumblebees. They're our favorite mini, like little cherry tomato, by far our favorite. So I think we'll do a little thing of that too, because I don't want to not have those, and I think I only have like 2 or 3 germinating. And you just never know, when it goes out in the garden, you might have a couple that die, or, you know, for whatever reason don't thrive when you get them in the garden. You just don't know. So I like to cover my back. I'd rather be pulling too many tomatoes during the spring and summer season than not enough, that's for sure. All right, so these are aromas going in now. So quite a few of these. Aromas are another paste tomato and just a really great all-around tomato to can with. And then, I mean, pink Berkeley tie-dyes, they're heirloom, kind of specialty variety, and I love them. They're my favorite, and they taste delicious. So that's why I went with those. And I sowed them first because I'm being selfish. Okay, so aromas. And then I think I'll do the little purple bumblebees. And that might be it for our bulk here. Hopefully we get some to come up. That I already planted also. Hopefully we get some nice healthy plants out of those also, at least a couple. Okay, we're gonna do I have my tomatoes broken down into different containers. I have 4 containers, and one of them is like beefsteak, one of them is paste tomatoes, and then we've got cherry tomatoes in this one, and then just specialty, a bunch of specialty tomatoes in one too. Those are my like heirlooms, you know, just really pretty fancy tomatoes basically. So let's see. These are our little favorite guys, these little purple bumblebees. They're so cute. If anyone's looking for, these have great flavor and they're just really pretty. If anyone's looking for a great place to get seeds, In My Gardener is probably my favorite seed place, because they have really, really affordable seeds, and he carries all heirloom seeds mostly, and they're just really great quality. I have really good success germinating them, and each seed packet's like only $2, and you just can't get it anywhere. And you can get a lot of really great varieties, you know, a lot of varieties that you can get on like Rare Seeds, and you pay $5 a pack for them or something like that. So In My Gardener for sure is a really great seed company. So True Seeds is another one. Botanical Interest we absolutely love. Yeah, there's a lot of them, I guess, but I think my go-to and probably most of my seeds come from In My Gardener for sure. I don't really need 100 of these because we will be drowning in cherry tomatoes. These produce so many, so I'm probably, I don't know, I probably did 10, which is probably too many, but that's okay. That's what always happens. We literally just drowned in cherry tomatoes. These are really good too. These Chadwick cherries, they turned out to be pretty big, like a nice, good size, like, you know, like a salad size that I really liked. And then these large cherries too. So I think I might put both of these in this in the same container, because they're both like large red cherry tomatoes. So, you know, why not? Obviously, I'm not super precise with what I'm planting. Well, I am precise with what I'm planting, but I'm not precise with, like, you know, each name of everything. At the end, when you're in the garden and you're just grabbing tomatoes, doesn't really matter that much, especially when we know we love both of those. So I think we're good. These are purple bumblebees. All right, so we're zone 8B. We were zone 9 something, and then we just changed with a new rezoning. I think we're 8B now in North Florida. What I realized about gardening over the last 3 years, I've been gardening really intensely. Big gardening for the year, trying to grow enough food to feed us for a year basically. And I will say this about what I've learned that has made me really successful at gardening. Zones don't really matter unless you're like planting trees or like perennial shrubs or, you know, something like that. I don't really pay attention to that at all with gardening. You can grow anything in any zone. You just have to go by the seed packet and what it says. So for instance, let's take these Chadwick cherry tomatoes, okay? on the back of the packet, it says 6 to 8 weeks before last frost start indoors. So, see that? So that's what you do. You get your last frost date by your zip code, because even the crazy part is like even the difference between North Florida, where I am, and North Florida, where friends are 30 minutes away, they have a different zip code and they have a different average last frost date. Between me and the next town, there could be like literally a 4-week gap if it's closer to the coast or it's closer to inland. 4 to 6 weeks difference between, one average last frost date to the other. So I think the main thing is that you really have to know your average last frost date. That's the biggest thing. So you know your average last frost date, that's your date. You go by it and you swear by it. You know it like the back of your hand, you memorize it. And then every seed packet, everything you want to plant, everything you want to sow, it goes from there. So you say to yourself, okay, Andrea, your last frost date is March 7th. And that's me really pushing it. It's me pushing it, but I'm fine taking that risk. So March 7th is like a pretty good date for me. And I'm going to go with that. And then I'm just going to back myself up. I'm sowing these tomatoes pretty late because I sowed some 3 weeks ago and they're just not germinating. And I figured that they would once the weather picked up, and they did a bit, but not anything like they should. So we're sowing more because you can't, who cares? You can be off a couple weeks and it's not going to make or break your whole entire gardening season. So we're not too far out that it's a lost cause, but we're, farther out than I really want to be, but that's okay. That's okay. Because you're going to miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take in the garden. So if you don't plant any tomatoes, you're not going to grow any tomatoes. I planted some plants out and they're 3 weeks ahead of these guys. Will they do better? Maybe. Maybe they won't. We don't know. So it's always good too to just sow a little extra, succession sow some, one date and then come back and sow some more a couple weeks later. That's good too. In Florida, it just gets so stinking hot in the summer that tomatoes don't really like it above like a certain threshold. Normally about 90-degree days, like 90, 95 days, tomatoes are shot. Like at that point, they're like, I'm not producing, I quit. We're going to wilt and we're going to die. And that's pretty much how it works. So, trying to get my little tag. So, you want to get these tomatoes in as early as possible, and maybe these guys just won't be as grown out, but I'll stick them out there. It's fine. They'll be fine. We're going to be just fine. So these are, let me see, large red, cherry, and Chadwick. All right, and today is 17th. Okay, so either way, it's okay if you go a couple weeks outside because, life isn't perfect. We get thrown off. Some days some crops we have down pat and we can just get out there and we can get it done. And then other crops, it takes a while. We just don't have time. Life happens. We're moms, we're wives, we're have a job, whatever we do, and we just get busy, and it is what it is. We can't beat ourselves up too much about it. We just keep on trucking, and when we get a second, we can get it done. So I just try and sow as much as I can whenever I can. Okay, there's just so many beautiful, why do I have 4 boxes of tomatoes? I don't know. I am really addicted to buying seeds, apparently. I will tell you something though, this is really, really, I think, huge for me. I did not buy seeds this year. I didn't buy any so far. I mean, I probably still might, but so far I didn't, and that's really good. So I just have all of these, and I was like, it's a little overkill, so we should probably rein it in a little bit, Andrea. So I told myself. So I didn't buy seeds this year because I have 4 containers of seeds just for tomatoes. That's one thing. I don't even know what else to plant. Okay, I've got pink Berkeley tie-dye, Amish paste, Romas, purple bumblebees, San Marzanos, and cherries, 2 different kinds of red cherry. That's a lot. I'm gonna stop because if I get into doing all these heirlooms, which I already did a ton of heirlooms in my trays, I think I might just go over the top. And we added to the garden this year. We put 4 more big raised beds in and 4 little raised beds. And I'm already thinking like I'm not gonna have enough space. So I need to just call it quits. Okay, so that's that. And then there's one last thing I wanted to show you guys really quick before I sign off here. And I just wanted to say thanks for hanging out and giving us a second chance. Sorry we took such a big, crazy long break. Hopefully it won't happen again, but that's okay. Sometimes you just need a break in your life, you know? So this is my seed situation right now, this little space heater. But what I wanted to show you guys is this bucket right here. So sweet potatoes are going to be happening before I can even think about it. And I grew my own slips last year and I had really great success. So this year I just went ahead and shoved some sweet potatoes in here. I just did this today, so I'm going to just unearth a little bit for you guys so you can see. They're just supposed to be about 2 inches down. I might need to take a little bit more off the top, but you can see my sweet potatoes down here. You just literally plant the whole entire sweet potato and then you cover it with about 2 to 3 inches of soil. I have compost on the bottom, really wet compost, and then on the top I just have some good organic potting, raised bed soil, I think. So here's my sweet potatoes right here. Can you guys see them? And you're not gonna drench this because this is just a plastic tub and there's no way for water to go and you don't want everything to rot at the bottom, but you just wanna make sure that the soil is moist. This soil on top is pretty dry, but I put compost on the bottom and the compost was very, very wet. This is the compost, super wet. So I think I'm fine for a couple days. And then in a couple days, I'll probably come in here and just sprinkle some water. In Florida, it's super, super humid. So you don't really need, Trooper and Bailey, leave it. My dogs are chasing cats, sorry. You don't need a ton of moisture to get these babies rolling. So they're gonna just start shooting up slips. When they do that, I'll show you guys, we'll touch base. But I did this last year and it worked beautifully. To begin with though, just to encourage growth, I went ahead and put a heat mat. You guys can see that, it's a germination mat on the bottom. And then, oh gosh, and then obviously there's a space heater right here too, just for the next couple days while it is really, really cold out. These are my babies and you see my tomatoes are just leggy. They're pretty leggy, and B, like non-existent. So that is a sad day. So, and these are like some of my heirlooms and they're just not coming up, but I didn't really use great soil. So I'm gonna try this Fox Farm and see. But these are eggplants here. They're doing amazing. These are peppers, and some of these are already needing to kind of be potted up a bit, transplanted. And then these are some more peppers down here. This isn't the best germination, but that's okay. And then more tomatoes that are suffering. These tomatoes are not doing good. And then on the bottom here, and bring you guys down. And we've got some jalapenos and peppers here and more tomatoes here that are, oh no, these are bell peppers. This is another thing I'm gonna need to sow. Let's go do that really quick too. These are bell peppers, and for whatever reason, my bell peppers are not doing anything. I have no clue what's going on with that. So I'll probably take a couple more of those trays that I was just doing and just shove some peppers in there too, and a couple of them. Anyway, all right, so that is my you know, a little update, life update and garden update for a minute, mid-February. I'll take you guys through the garden pretty soon and do a tour also. There's lots of cool things to do and see. So we will be catching up soon. All right, we'll see you guys later. Dirt hands. It's always good when you know your hands are dirty. You had a good day playing in the soil and in your garden. And you know, if you grow a garden, you feed your family, and golly, there's nothing better. That sun is absolutely stunning. So I'm gonna absorb a little bit more of the sunshine out here while I can as it sets, and we'll talk soon.